from the Post-Millennial, breaking: Senate Judiciary Committee advances Kash Patel as FBI director, will face vote in closed Senate executive session. No, hold on there, gosh darn minute. My understanding is that the committee advances the nominee, and then it goes to a floor vote, and then we have our appointee. Libby, what's going on?
What's going on? Oh, with the Senate Judiciary? So the way it works, and I was talking to my staff about this because we were all a little like, what's going on? But so the committee that held his confirmation hearings advances him to the next round. And in this case, that's an executive session, which is a closed session. And after the executive session, they will vote on cloture, which means no more debate. And then it will go for a full vote.
So why is it taking so long to get Kash?
Why is it taking? Is maybe the Epstein list? Maybe nobody. We were talking about that before the show. There's a lot of debate surrounding Kash, and there was a lot of debate surrounding Tulsi as well. But I think that, and didn't Tulsi have a closed door session?
She had a closed session as well.
Yeah, she had a closed door session.
Yeah, I remember that's when I was like, what's going on? And
because in the closed session, they're like, please tell us you're not going to do these things.
Right. And I think the closed session also has to do with, in the case of Kash and Tulsi, I think it has to do with the incredibly sensitive nature of the things that that they need to discuss. You know, I mean, that they're like super confidential.
Yeah. Well,
you say whatever you want in there, too.
But is Kash going to release the Epstein list?
That's what he said he's going to do. I was actually listening to it was a PBD podcast with Glenn Beck, and he said within 10 days of Kash getting in. And I'm like, and Kash has been saying from, the last 3 years on every podcast and going, I'm going to do this thing. So, I mean, the number one pederast in the world and in U.S. history. Why not?
Let's do this. Remember that guy who was tracking Elon's private jets?
Yeah.
We need him now. I'm not a fan of posting the information on Elon's jets. That's not what I mean. But we need the expertise of monitoring the jets of all of these Hollywood celebrities, billionaires, financial executives, etc., to see how many of them, within the confirmation of shortly after the confirmation of Kash Patel, how many of them fly to other countries on their jets
with no extradition laws.
Exactly. All of a sudden, all the planes just like
goes to Kenya. You're like,
they all go to one place.
Is it like Russell Simmons in Thailand? And he's like never coming back. Wasn't there something?
Really?
Oh yeah, Russell Simmons left in 21.
Yeah,
he was like he saw things and he's like, I'm out of here. He was been gone for years. Oh yeah, he wasn't even going to try to play it again. Yeah, I mean,
Diddy should have gone with him.
Does Kash have to live in a bulletproof glass box right now? I mean, come on.
I don't know, because I think they've been planning for stuff like this, and they got people around them. They got people around them ready for the smoke. I think they're ready for the smoke.
I kind of feel like the empire has been crushed.
Yeah.
That with Donald Trump's victory this time around, there's just, it's you've gotten rid of most of the infrastructure, and all that's left are remnants of the deep state that still somewhat are operating. You know how it is, like after World War II, they were like, this man was living in the jungle and didn't know the war was over for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's still fighting
Joseph
to this day.
Beuys, the artist Joseph Beuys, who had this whole crazy thing. But I think the other thing too, you're talking about the empire has been crushed. I think there's something to watch out for that we need to be careful about, and that is the tendrils. The tendrils that have gone so deep into everything.
Yeah, I mean,
the tendrils that made it so that the Department of Agriculture withheld free school lunches because just from schools that wouldn't let boys in girls' bathrooms. And that's the pulling out of the DEI through the Department of Education. That's the pulling out of the gender ideology.
I like
race theory.
The tendrils analogy, but I think we can go for something more disgusting, like botfly larvae.
Okay,
that has burrowed and embedded its seeds under your skin.
That's horrifying.
It's so gross, dude.
I like the tendrils thing because I think octopuses are cool.
I get your point.
I like it because
the thing is, it goes beyond just
fungi.
It goes beyond just in Washington D.C. Remember, USAID was working with foreign nations all over the world, and there's a lot of foreign nations that have their governments because of the work that USAID did.
Oh yeah.
So it's not just a matter of things here in the U.S. There are remnants. Sure, there are still people in positions of power that will do whatever they can to stymie the Trump administration. But there's the whole of Europe has bought into the ideology that we're trying to excoriate from the United States.
Been a part of it.
Exactly. It's not just bought in. I mean, you look at what's going on, and everyone talked about
Germany.
60 Minutes in Germany. That is every bit as influential as it's ever been. So it's not just the United. Like, people talk about, like, hey, get out of NATO because, well, they're not paying their fair share. But maybe get out of NATO because they don't believe in liberal values like the freedom of speech anymore.
That was like the most amazing speech that J.D. Vance gave on Friday. I watched that speech and I was like, this is the kind of speech that we need to see all over the world.
Threw down the gauntlet.
He was just like, you're not upholding Western values. You're not vouchsafing Western civilization. What are you even defending yourselves for? Right. That was such a huge and good question.
I just want to say,
go ahead.
It is very based that we have a president who tweets. And then, that was 2016 or 2017 to 21. But now we have a vice president as well. Yeah. Because the current vice president is on Twitter
calling people dummies,
roasting these people, and I'm like, so it was Mehdi Hassan, I believe, who threw some critique over J.D. Vance's commentary, and he responded with, like, free speech, like, you shouldn't go to jail for insulting somebody, dummy. And it was amazing to see the vice president on Twitter be like, you're dumb.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is like a reversal, right? Because John Adams was the first vice president, and he got into office, and he and George Washington didn't agree about anything. And so he was like, well, I'll just let George Washington govern, and I'll just mostly hang out in the Senate, which is what he did. And he did a lot of tie-breaking votes. But that set the tone for the vice presidency through the ages, where the vice president doesn't really do anything. And now I feel like with J.D. Vance, Trump's like, I need a second guy. We got a lot of stuff to do. We need two of us. We definitely need four hands to get this done. And so maybe J.D. Vance is actually reversing the tradition of the vice presidency and going to actually get things done. But just really quick with USAID, when that story started breaking, I was like, wait, I remember something about this from a couple of years ago. It was in 2022 that Samantha Powers went to Hungary and started giving a bunch of money to independent fringe media and LGBTQ causes because they didn't like Viktor Orban and they wanted to destabilize their government. And what Powers said at the time was, we're upholding democracy in Hungary. And it's like, no, you're trying to destabilize a government that you don't like.
Right. And that's, but I think also the JD thing is because Trump is such a force, we need a JD and anyone behind him to kind of put themselves on that platform, because the left is going to pump money into somebody by 2028, right? And Gavin just burned up his opportunity. But
that's too soon.
Yeah, right. But JD is also showing, like, I don't play. And we needed to see him come out there and do that as consistently. So I think
his AI speech was good, and his Munich speech was good.
And he's preparing, like, this is the future. One of the things we're seeing in Trump, I know I felt this, him standing there, like, we got to remember, he got shot, y'all. Yeah. If we think in the head, if we think like, oh, just the raids got him pissed, he got shot. What do you think he's going to do?
First they went for his lady, and then they
went for him. Yeah. And so he's coming hard, and then coming behind him is the future. JD represents the young men who are in their 20s holding up that flag during those frat boys who were like, no, you're not going to destroy my country. Yeah. And while Kamala picks this old, raisin of a dude, little pansy boy, and Tim Walz, we get JD Vance, who comes from who comes from literally the garbage background, that you could say, if you wanted to say that, right? Comes from literally the bottom, and now he's here. So he had to show literally the world, like, look, you can come here too, American kid.
And one of the great things about JD Vance is he in that speech, he was talking to European leaders the exact same way that he talked to Margaret. He's like, I'm not putting up with your BS. Right. Like, you're not doing that.
Well, the same way he talks to everybody, which is what Trump does too.
Which is great. And it's also good. It was also good to see Marco Rubio. Which, not that I think that Marco Rubio is spineless or anything.
He's doing well.
He's doing really, really well, and he's carrying out the policies that Donald Trump wants. He's not. Marco Rubio is not. It does not seem like Marco Rubio has any interest in throwing a wrench into the works of the administration. He is there to do what Donald Trump wants, and that is refreshing. And it's also something that we need because like Mike Benz talks about the blob. It's the State Department, it's DOD, and it's CIA, right? So that's the three.
Well, he's the one talking about the tendrils too, or the butt flies.
Bot fly larvae.
Okay, whatever disgusting thing that is. And he's
you don't know what that is?
I don't want to know.
It's a parasitic fly
I
that
don't-
lays its eggs
la,
under your
la,
skin.
la, la, la.
No, I would actually want to hear the whole thing.
They lay their eggs under your skin, and you'll get like a bug bite.
scabies?
No. You get like a red bump, and then eventually it opens up into a hole, and the larva like is in your skin, sticking its head out, looking around.
Oh God, dude. Oh, bro.
It's gross.
Hey, wait, hold on. That's how I view the deep state.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. See, exactly. Now you know how I feel.
It kind of reminds me. You remember Total Recall, the Schwarzenegger one?
Yeah.
Where the guy's like, yeah. It's good. Like that's what.
Have you guys ever seen like a lotus bloom or whatever?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's got all the little holes in the seed pods. Imagine that, but instead of seeds, it's maggots sticking, big ones.
Ew.
Smiling at
Like
you.
our viewership's gonna drop by 10,000 right now. People are like, turn it off. It's gross.
Or go up by 10,000.
No. Hold on, guys. I really want to stress this. I hope everyone at home listening, whenever they think of the deep state apparatus, that vision of bot flies are in their brain. Like, that association is a good thing.
Yeah, I think
Recoil
so.
in disgust.
Yes, I think so too.
I've mostly thought of like roots and stuff like.
No, that's too nice.
That is too
underground.
nice. That's trees.
Flowers with trees, and there's
Flowers,
You know,
like poison roots.
No, you
when
gotta
you say there's
bot
roots,
fly.
I imagine like bunnies hopping around and
There's bunnies,
a smiling
but they have
tree
fangs.
singing a
They're
song.
like fang bunnies, fang bunnies.
Wow, your
It still
mind
makes
went
me
there.
laugh.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's nice. Botfly is a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You sit there and watch them coming in and out of.
But this is what Ben's talks about. Is it's so deep in the maggots or whatever. It's so deep that when we start unraveling it, it's like the ACA. Remember when all the legislators were like, we're not going to know what's in Obamacare until we enact it. That's like, we're not going to know what all USAID was doing until we cut it.
I'll pull up a picture of bot flies in the members portion.
That's
the
okay.
the
Yeah, let's
Rumble
do it on
Premium
the-
section
You
of the
don't
show.
have to do that.
because
Let's
so-
talk about something.
I'm down.
I just want everyone to
Worse.
associate the deep state with an
not
image of
bugs.
bot fly larva.
Image of gross.
I like that. Let's push that. I'm gonna tweet that later. We got to get on top of that one.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.